This is Montana This Morning from Montana's news leader.
Good morning. Thanks for waking up with us here on Montana This Morning. I'm Augusta McDonald.
And I'm Louis Storch. Hope you're having a great start to your Monday. Hope you had a good weekend. Overall, Augusta, man, not a bad weekend.
Not a bad weekend at all. It was really beautiful outside.
Yeah, it was
the sunshine was like, yes.
I know. It was nice seeing some sunshine. Temperatures not too bad at all. Hopefully you're able to get out and enjoy it, because coming into this week, we're going to see more cloud cover overhead, but we're not talking about really any significant systems moving through Augusta. Pretty much every day this week, though, we do have a chance of seeing some light snow. So we'll get into that as we move throughout the morning here. First, though, here's your forecast headlines for today. Some light snow will be in the forecast, and that's going to be really during the morning time with a little bit of clearing as we roll into the afternoon. Then we're going to see a minor lull. So quieter Tuesday, mostly cloudy skies, and then, like I mentioned, off and on snow and even some rain showers pretty much every day as we roll into next weekend. Here's a quick look at your Monday forecast. We'll see 35 in Missoula, 35 also in Kalispell, 35 in Hamilton, 36 in Polson. Again, a few very light snow showers with areas having the best chance of seeing snow in the higher elevations along the Montana-Idaho border. We'll get into all those details here coming up in just a couple of minutes.
Alrighty, thank you, Louis. Top stories this morning. The government shutdown has officially expanded into the work week as lawmakers on Capitol Hill were unable to resolve their differences over the weekend. A few hours from now, senators will vote on a new temporary spending plan. There are indications it just may be able to get the votes necessary to pass. Hannah Doba explains.
Well, let's step back from the brink. Let's stop victimizing the American people and get back to work.
Though the weekend passed without a deal to end the government shutdown, there is cautious optimism on Capitol Hill that day 3 will be the turning point.
With my vote, there are obviously more votes needed, but if I had to guess, I do. I think that some of the Democrats who voted no will vote yes.
Republican Senator Jeff Flake was part of a 22-person bipartisan contingent Sunday, working behind the scenes on a deal. Later on the Senate floor, Majority Leader Mitch McConnell thanked the group and then offered a pledge to Democrats. Vote for a short-term funding bill that lasts until February 8th. If by then there's no solution on the main Democratic sticking point, immigrants brought here illegally as children, that concern will be brought to the forefront.
It would be my intention to proceed to legislation that would address DACA, border security, and related issues.
Democrats who are part of those backroom negotiations say while there's progress, they're not sure it's enough to secure the necessary votes.
I don't know that you're going to see the final deal, but you might see a comfort level that would enable us to move forward, so we'll see.
While the shutdown continues, essential government workers, including uniformed service members, will still report for duty, but their paychecks could be delayed. Hannah Doba, CBS News.
The House has passed a procedural measure paving the way for it to vote very quickly on any measure passed by the Senate. Montana News this morning, Montana Senator Steve Daines was one of many who spoke on the Senate floor on Saturday. In his statement, Senator Daines says, quote, "I'm here to make one point crystal clear for those Montanans who are wondering what's going on with their government. The reason that the government has shut down is because a controversial illegal immigration policy was not included in a bill that funds the government." Senator Daines added, quote, "We should not hold the country hostage for a controversial immigration policy that impacts 0.0007% of Montanans." Senator John Tester also spoke on the floor. His response to the failed government funding bill was, "Congress has failed for 112 days. The budget ran out in September of last year. Since then, there has been no progress made. None. Instead, they have proposed 4 short-term crisis funding bills that fail Montanans, and I will not let Washington fail Montana anymore." Both senators voiced their concerns on the Children's Health Insurance Program, also known as CHIP. Not only would the bill have kept the government open for 4 weeks, but it would have included a 6-year reauthorization of CHIP. The insurance program gives 24,000 Montana children access to health care. Here's a look at the highest number of children enrolled in CHIP through the state of Montana, with Yellowstone County holding the most at 3,288. National parks are also a large concern when there is a shutdown. However, unlike the one in 2013 where the parks were closed, National Park Services said that they will remain open throughout the shutdown. However, services will be limited. Glacier National Park this weekend posted a statement in regards to the shutdown. They want visitors to plan accordingly, as things like campgrounds, visitor centers, and heated restrooms will not be open during this time. Airmen at Malmstrom Air Force Base are still reporting to work despite the government shutdown. According to Malmstrom's Facebook page, commanders are working to find out what services will be affected. They are also encouraging airmen that need help during this time to contact their first sergeants, supervisors, and commanders. The Montana Defense Alliance Chair David Weissman says these men and women will continue to make sure our missiles are ready.
I think the thing to keep in mind is that essential services will continue to be available. It is inconvenient. There's absolutely no question about it. From our perspective, it's very frustrating that we're playing politics with something as important as our nation's budget and budget certainty for our military to work with. And we would really like to see ourselves get through that as soon as possible.
Other Montana headlines this morning. Montana farmers and ranchers are being asked to fill out a very important survey that helps paint an accurate picture of American agriculture. In this week's Montana Ag Feature, MTN's Russell Nemitz tells us more about the Census of Agriculture.
By filling it out, you let your voice be heard, you let everybody know how Montana agriculture economy is, basically telling us your story.
Conducted every 5 years, the Census of Agriculture is the USDA's largest data collection endeavor and serves a very important role for American agriculture.
Well, the census is really the building block for all of USDA's programs. That's the basis. That's where we determine whether or not a program's going to be funded, where it's not going to be funded.
State governments also use the Census of Agriculture.
It's kind of the most important thing, holding everything together and getting our programs out there. It's really the farmer's main voice to have county level data in the U.S. So it's used for a lot of things.
And information confidentiality is a top priority.
Data is all combined, so we're not going to release an individual's data. We're not sharing that with IRS, we're not sharing it with FSA. We're not using it to come after you. We're using it to do a county level number, a district level number, and a state level number.
Farm and ranch operations of all sizes which produced and sold or normally would have sold $1,000 or more of agricultural products in 2017 are included in the census.
Well, I just like to thank all Montana producers and all your participation and your hard work. And you know, we can't share your voice and your story without you participating and helping us out.
Now, the census response deadline is February 5th, and for more information, farmers and ranchers can visit agcensus.usda.gov. I'm Russell Nemitz reporting, MTN News.
Nemitz says responding to the Census of Agriculture is required by law, so please do your part for Montana's agriculture industry. And Disney's Animal Kingdom is celebrating this week after the birth of the first baby hippo born at the park in 13 years. Tuma, a Nile hippopotamus, gave birth to a healthy calf weighing more than 60 pounds. Disney officials said the tiny hippo's exact weight and gender are unknown because Disney animal care staff are giving the new mom plenty of space to bond and nurse with her baby. Once the baby can be examined, a name will be selected for the baby hippo, who could grow to weigh more than 2,000 pounds as an adult. The Nile hippopotamus is a vulnerable species and their population is on the decline. Many are affected because of habitat loss, according to the World Wildlife Fund. Back in Western Montana, meteorologist Louis Storch joins us now in the Weather Center.
Thank you, Augusta. Good morning, everyone. Hope you're having a great start to your Monday. Hope you had a good weekend. Really nice weekend out there. Saw some sunshine. Temperatures not bad at all, especially yesterday. We saw some upper 30s in places. 36 was that high in Missoula, 2 degrees above our average of 34. So right around where we should be for this time of year. And then in Kalispell, it was another nice day there as well. 36 was their high there, 4 degrees above the average of 32. And temperatures this week are pretty much going to be hovering right around average here. Some days right around average, a couple days, a couple degrees above, some below, but pretty much it's going to be a pretty quiet week as far as those temperatures go. And then as far as your weather goes, we do have some very light snow showers that are going to stick with us throughout the week. So we'll time that out here in just a few minutes. Quick look at your temperatures outside this morning. We have 33 Missoula, 32 Hamilton, 28 Sula, 35 in Polson, 31. So not a bad start there in Kalispell, 22 Seeley Lake, 28 Phillipsburg. We are 30 right now in St. Regis. A little bit of light snow falling, very light out there, but we can see it's popping up on the radar. Again, we are going to see some scattered showers, very light showers through the morning. Most of the areas with the best chance of seeing this are going to be along the Montana-Idaho border and the mountains, and then the mountains of the glacier region. But we can't rule out maybe a few flurries falling in the valleys as well. Now, we did have light snowfall overnight, so those passes, especially again along the Montana-Idaho border, we do have snow on those. So you can see places like Lolo Pass and Lost Trail Pass is getting those light snow showers. So if you are traveling, maybe give yourself a little extra time this morning. Here's today's high forecast for western Montana and northwest Montana. We'll see some middle, even some upper 30s out there with cloudy skies in the morning, maybe a little bit of sunshine by the afternoon, and a few flurries possible as well. Today's forecast, southwest Montana, again, pretty much the same thing. Some clouds in the morning, then maybe a little sunshine peeking through the clouds later on in the day. Tonight's low temperatures dropping down into the 20s with a few teens out there, and skies are slowly going to begin to clear tonight as we are going to see a break from the snow showers tomorrow. And then notice as we roll through the rest of the week, we're going to just have chances of some light rain showers and even snow showers on Wednesday, then snow showers Thursday and through the weekend. Same thing for Kalispell, with temperatures hovering right around average, if not slightly above average throughout this week. Hamilton, 35 today, 36 Tuesday. We'll make it up to 40 on Wednesday, back in the 30s by Thursday.
Alrighty, thank you, Lewis. Coming up after this break, an old school pastime is getting new life in the digital age. Board games are making a comeback. More after this.